Great change in the education system in Nigeria. Massive update because the Nigerian government has set the pace in Africa to change the Western system of education. Nigeria has decided that Western system of education that is meant to enslave us, that is meant to keep us uneducated, yes, that is meant to keep us underdeveloped forever. Nigeria government is coming up with a strategy to end it. There are so many things that the government has done. You know, Nigeria was the first African country to say that schools in Nigeria will start teaching in local languages. As in mathematics, they can teach it in Igbo. Mathematics, English, chemistry, French, all the subjects you can imagine, they can use local language to teach them. Some schools in Nigeria even went as far as getting to the point where they wear traditional Nigeria attires as their school uniforms. That is what Nigeria implemented. Local fabric. I remember talking about this, it's been long, like 3-4 years now. That's what some schools in Nigeria started doing. But now the Nigerian government has decided to go beyond these things by adding different things into the curriculum to ensure that the education system in Nigeria is meaningful, to ensure that if you go to school in Nigeria, you will not come out and be useless. By the time you're leaving school in Nigeria, you don't need employment. You can employ yourself. You get it? That is what China has done to be the best in the world. Today, we see schools in China. Children in primary school in China, they focus more on practicals, focusing more on tech, focusing more on doing physical work. They do cooking, they do engineering, they do construction, they do a lot of things in primary schools in China. While our own children here in Africa, in Nigeria and other African countries, we are busy studying American history, European history, African history, who discovered the sea road to India, who discovered America, who did this, we are busy learning irrelevant things that cannot help us. And this system of education is one of the biggest reasons why Africans graduate even with degrees and yet they cannot do anything for themselves. You cannot help yourself even though you have a degree. Who brought this system of education to us? The West, the Americans, the Europeans. This system of education, they themselves, they don't use it. But us, we have stayed on it. I don't know what is wrong with Africans that we cannot think for ourselves. We cannot reason today. This education system is not good. It's not helping us. I am very, very happy when I came across this news that the Nigerian government is doing something regarding this Western education system. I was very proud. I said, this is the example that every African country must follow if we expect Africa to grow, if we expect Africa to change. Then this is what every African country should be doing. You get it? This system of education that we have is one of the biggest problems we have in Africa. We have heard people talk about it for decades, yet nobody takes action. Nothing happens. Nobody do anything. So finally, action is gradually being taken by the Nigerian government, and this is going to put a smile on your face. Let's go. Let me tell you the details on this breaking news. This one will ginger you well. You get the point now, eh? So, as you can see, the education system, the federal government is revamping the education system in Nigeria by adding in things that are more skilled oriented, things that can help your children. Like, you don't need jobs unless your child his own laziness is out of this world, or that person cannot create something of their own. You get it? That's the intention behind this move. So the government is adding things like plumbing in primary school. As in primary schools in Nigeria, it's becoming mandatory that every primary school should be teaching children plumbing. As in, your child now going to primary school, before they finish primary school, they're supposed to know at least 1 or 2 things about plumbing. There are so many Chinese in Africa, so many people from Turkey in Africa who have never seen the 4 walls of a university. But because they have an education system that permits them, by just leaving primary school, you are already a good plumber. By just leaving primary school, you are so talented, so good in something. Why should you be going to the university where you can make a lot of money? And some of them come to work in Africa. We pay them. We put them as managers. We put them as top in our companies. Yet, they don't even have secondary school certificate. Now, primary school they get because of their skills and what they know. That is what education system can do. So plumbing will be added into Nigeria education system right from primary school. Expect your children to know plumbing. Tiling, all this one, they put tiles in the house, beautify the house with tiles and all of that. Maybe by the time you know how to put tiles, you start getting interest in how can I start manufacturing. Can you imagine that Nigeria still have people that import tiles? You go to Nigeria, you find warehouses that focus on importing all sorts of tiles from China, from other countries. No factories. Just imagine if there were factories that are producing these tiles in Nigeria. So with this in primary schools, before you get to secondary school now, you know how to make tiles, you know how to do plumbing, you know how to do a skill. How will you now suffer now after secondary school? At least when you graduate or when you just finish from that primary school or even secondary school, there should be something in your hand that you can do to survive. You can move yourself around by just doing this. You can relocate to another country as an expert in this. And your certificate will show that you are an expert. It's not just plumbing, no. House trades to schools. Housing trades. Housing trades. So, I don't know which one is housing trade too. So there are so many. There's even hairdressing, because other documents show that the government is including hairdressing, interior designs. Interior designs. I don't know who is advising the Nigerian government, but the person is doing well. So the government is adding interior designs, hairdressing, plumbing, all these skillful things. Nigerians will be able to have the skills. They will acquire all of them in primary and secondary school. Mandatory. Every primary school in Nigeria will get this. So this is a very good news for Nigerians. This is absolutely one of the best news so far that has happened this year, 2025. This decision by the government will transform the economy. Because look at what is happening in Aba today. Aba is gradually becoming a hub in Africa, where other African countries depend on. And these people doing all of this great production in Aba, they train themselves. So imagine what will happen to Nigeria in the next 10 years if children graduating from secondary school, primary schools are already capable of producing, capable of manufacturing, capable of handling all these kind of great things. Imagine how this will impact the economy positively. Think about it. This one worth celebration. It's not every time Nigeria will be criticizing everything about the government. If the government do something good, hail them, celebrate them, tell us, oh God, we are proud of you. You are making us proud. You are doing well. This is what a normal country should be doing. Reform the education system. Reform the education system. This is now entering the curriculum. So every school in Nigeria, if you are not doing this, you are a problem. You are now a problem. So now it's for the government to now set up a control system whereby they go to states. Each governor, for example, the government can't do everything. The government has set up the curriculum. Now it's for the state governors now to say, okay, the education department of this state ensure that every school in Nigeria has this going on in their school. If you cannot build a small place where this practical work will be carried on, then what are you doing? Because we are tired of children learning geography, learning history, learning economics, learning things that will not help them. So these skillful things will help reduce unemployment in Nigeria, help people to employ themselves, help more industrialization, because a lot of people from this will be inspired to start factories, start companies, start manufacturing. Those who have money to invest in manufacturing and production, they will have people they can employ. There are people in Nigeria who want to build factory, but they don't have people that can work. Now, for them to go and bring a Chinese to come and manage and work the factory, do you know how much it will cost them? For them to go and bring somebody from Turkey, you know how much it will cost them? But if those skills are in the country, if Nigerians can produce, can do all those things, why would somebody be going to import from a different country? So this is a great one. This is a positive update, and this one deserves to be shared. You deserve to send this to your friend, anybody around you, to know that this is what the government is actually doing. It's not only negative news that will happen, you will carry it and start sharing to your friend. Where good news happen like this one, share them as well to your brothers and sisters. Let them be proud that the country, Nigeria, is making progress. And once Nigeria start making this progress, guess what? Other African countries will start learning. Other African countries will start copying. Other African countries will want to be like Nigeria and start joining them in this process. And before you know, everything will be better for us in this continent. It is what it is. Your boy Ajay Magzi on this one again. Thank you for watching this amazing video. Thank you for turning up every single day to show me love and support. Guys, I truly appreciate, and I will never take that for granted. It is what it is. God bless you all. Cheers.